We are going to discuss Tales of the Bard by Jonty. Okay, let's start.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a truly deep plunge into a world woven by the bards of old. It's a vast narrative, filled with ancient magic, shifting alliances, and these truly epic conflicts. It's known as Tales of the Bard.
And we've gathered a formidable stack of sources for this. We've got detailed histories, personal journals, even some strategic military reports.
Right, and our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to get you, the listener, completely caught up, thoroughly informed on all the key players, the core magical infrastructure, and really the precise powers at play before this next major conflict kicks off.
That's the critical point, because the sources we're looking at today, they act like a history book and a character dossier all rolled into one. We're not just here to tell you what happened. We're here to explain the entire operating system of this world.
Exactly.
And since this is really a guide for anyone looking to jump into the next chapter, we're going to be dissecting every single key concept in extensive detail. We'll be focusing on structure, magic mechanics, and the personal journeys of the heroes.
Yeah, we need to know not just that battles were fought, but how. How do the good guys manage this near instantaneous communication? And why are the bad guys so notoriously difficult to, permanently kill?
And critically, how do these factions that seem so different, dwarves, paladins, even fire drakes, how do they actually cooperate? And the opening salvo of this whole thing, the moment the world knew this ancient threat was back, it didn't start with some grand battle. It was something much smaller and much more unsettling.
It all starts with a simple chore, which is what I find so fascinating. The whole story gets set in motion by a young dwarven boy, Durgen Stonefist. He's just out in the autumn woods near Hammerhold, the great dwarven fortress.
And by young, we should clarify, he's a stout 40-year-old, which is basically a child for dwarves.
Right, still a kid. And he's just gathering firewood, but what he finds is, well, it's undeniably magically wrong.
It's the twisted oak. And this isn't just a dead tree. It's ancient, gnarled, its bark is black as coal. And even...
Oh, hey, I think our listeners got something to say.
Yes, I just wanted to add that the twisted oak seemed to absorb light, almost like it's pulling the darkness into its own bark.
That is a brilliant observation, and it's absolutely key to understanding the dark magic at work.
Okay, let's unpack this. It's not just a tree, it's a void.
Exactly. When Durgen described the black viper that emerged, he said its scales seemed to absorb the very light around them.
That quality is intentional. The light absorption is part of the corruption.
It speaks to the fundamental nature of Malgora's dark magic. It's not just evil. It is actively anti-life and anti-light.
Here's where it gets really interesting. That twisted oak is gnarled, its bark black as coal.
And even though it's clearly dead and rotted, it isn't inert. That absorption is what makes the light. It does emit the red pulse so unsettling.
Durgen described feeling this deep, low, thrumming vibration right through the soles of his boots, like a corrupted heartbeat from inside the earth.
And the visuals are just as creepy. That eerie, sickly red luminescence is like blood moving just under the surface, right?
It's a horrible visual. As he gets closer, the thrumming gets faster, and then these shadowy figures just appear.
Otherworldly vipers. These are creatures born of dark magic, moving with unnatural speed and intent.
And Thorne Ironhammer, the dwarf leader, he immediately gets what this means.
He does. The twisted oak, pulsing red and absorbing light, attracting...
Yep, go on.
Okay, I think there's also a line that says he could feel the thrumming in his teeth. That might have been somebody else, but that's how intense the vibrations were from the tree.
You are absolutely right to pull that detail out.
Okay, let's unpack this. The vibration.
Durgen felt the thrumming not just in his feet, but in his teeth.
That's how we know the sound wasn't physical.
It wasn't just low-frequency noise. It resonated with something deeper.
That deeper connection is why it made his ancestral dwarven blood run cold.
It was a metaphysical vibration, a magical pulse from the corrupted structure itself.
That intensity is what signals a pre-existing dark infrastructure was being activated.
And that infrastructure is what drew those shadow vipers.
They are creatures born of dark magic, moving with unnatural speed and intent.
And Thorne Ironhammer, the dwarf leader, immediately gets what this means.
He does. The twisted oak, pulsing red and absorbing light, attracting these shadow vipers. He says it begins again.
I love Thorne's reaction. It's so perfectly dwarven. He's pragmatic and incredibly swift. No panic at all.
He issues these highly specific, multi-pronged orders. He gets his runesmiths to check the ancient binding seals.
They're looking for any compromise, magical or structural, in the mountain itself.
At the same time, he's sending out ravens to all their allies, warning of possible incursions.
And he doubles the perimeter guards, because he knows what's coming.
And crucially, he orders that light-absorbing twisted oak to be burned.
Not with normal fire, but with sacred fire.
He recognized it was a magical corruption.
Right. It needed a divine cleansing to stop the spread. That single ominous discovery sets the stage for what is essentially an infrastructure war.
And that infrastructure war is exactly where we need to start our deep dive.
If the villains are using these corrupted, light-absorbing trees that vibrate intensely.
The forces of light must deny on their own powerful, living, magical network.
The whole conflict, the very survival of the realm, it's all underpinned by this vast, living, magical infrastructure.
Which brings us to our main protagonist, Ronin the Wildspeaker.
He's a perfect example of destiny overriding birthright.
He starts life pretty humbly, a simple farm boy.
His father is Durgen Stormrider, a veteran who carries both physical and emotional scars from past wars.
And his mother is the healer Ilara, known for her devotion and this fiery red hair.
But Ronin's path to becoming a hero...
Okay, something interesting about Lira. She joined the health services while there was a big war, and that's how she met Durgen. But we have no further background. Also, she gave this amulet to Ronin, which seems to be some high elf or elf creation. So I'm thinking that Lira has some...
That is a phenomenal observation and a fantastic connection point, because Ilara is crucial.
Absolutely. What's fascinating here is that Ilara is one of those characters who holds ancient power while living a quiet life.
She did meet Darien during the war. She was a nurse of the wounded, known for her devotion.
And Darien was severely injured, his spirit hanging by a thread. She fought a curse that had sunk into his flesh.
Okay, let's unpack this. Her power comes from the fact that she is from the Virgin Circle.
That's the key. She is a descendant of ancient druids, which is where her healing skill comes from.
And that's exactly why the amulet she gave Ronin, the Amulet of Luminara, is so powerful.
It wasn't just a simple gift. It was a family relic from the ancient druids themselves.
She said it was a stone of the Verdant Circle, which could summon ancient spirits of the forest.
So she wasn't just a nurse. She was a highly skilled, magically potent healer and a guardian of ancient relics.
And that heritage is what feeds directly into Ronin's destiny, the one we were just about to talk about.
So Ronin's journey to becoming a hero, it isn't some neat apprenticeship. It starts with a crisis.
A huge crisis and a lot of trauma. It all begins when he follows his younger brother, Loran, into the mire of shattered souls.
And we need to be clear, it's not just a swamp. It's described as a kind of metaphysical darkness.
Cold, sticky mud, an oppressive mist, and a palpable sense of hopelessness that just whispers at the edges of your mind.
It's in that moment, lost, terrified, feeling this dark magic closing in, that his destiny is realized through that amulet.
The Amulet of Luminara, the one Ilara gave him.
It's a simple, polished stone relic from the ancient Verdant Circle, imbued with power.
She always told him it was a catalyst for courage.
And in the mire, that stone starts to pulse with this faint, steady green glow.
It acts like an internal compass, guiding him not just through the physical maze of the swamp, but through his own fear.
And it eventually leads him to Thorne Ironhammer, the same dwarf who first experienced that deep, jarring vibration.
He sees this boy's potential right away. The strength and purity of heart that Ronin showed there earned him a summons to the Druid Grove.
From the High Druid Silvara. And his whole purpose then becomes learning Wildspeak.
This sacred, incredibly complex language that allows for deep communication with, well, with everything in nature.
Not just animals. We're talking trees, the earth itself, the wind, the water, all of it.
And his power just grows exponentially from there. Chapter 8 details his abilities evolving from just talking to animals
to actually mastering local forces. He can call up roots and vines to ensnare his enemies.
And in moments of peak concentration, he can summon localized storms, lightning. He becomes a formidable agent of nature's fury.
Now let's bring in Princess Lira, who is, at least initially, his complete opposite.
Oh, absolutely. She's royalty, daughter of King Alistair. She's expected to be handling political duties inside the castle walls.
But she feels trapped by that. She's actively seeking adventure, real training, out beyond those walls.
And this creates immediate friction with Ronin. The sources really highlight the irony in how they first interact.
He's the farm boy, and he sees her quest for adventure as just an escape from responsibility. He actually calls her a spoiled princess.
And her response when they first meet is to call him just a farmer's son.
That clash of privilege versus practicality is what eventually forges their respect for each other.
And her character arc just explodes when she gets back to the castle and walks straight into a Hagborn trap.
Right in the throne room, which tells you just how deep the internal infiltration really is.
She's surrounded by these twisted witches, totally cut off from the royal guard.
And in that life or death moment, she really shows her tactical mind, her bravery.
She doesn't have Ronin's powers over storms. She just has pragmatism. She improvises.
Grabs a fallen banner pole, a heavy piece of wood as a weapon, and uses the momentum of her loyal mount, Starwind, to just burst through the line of witches.
Starwind is an often overlooked hero here.
Definitely. The Pegasus has its own natural magical aura. The sources say it severely disrupted their concentration.
It caused them to falter.
Just for a split second. But it was the split second Lira needed to escape the trap and get out of the castle.
And that whole sequence, it cements her as this capable, pragmatic hero who proved her worth through action, not her lineage.
Which is why, despite their initial disdain, they formed this unbreakable partnership.
And it's symbolized by the Amulet of Curius,
which Ronin crafts for her himself from blue tree wood.
And that's the strategic connection right there. It's a piece of infrastructure.
The amulet connects her directly to the deep currents of the druid network,
ensuring that distance or duty can never truly separate them.
And more importantly, ensuring she always has access to vital intelligence.
So it gives her abilities beyond just standard communication.
Right. She can't master Wildspeak like a full druid, but the amulet gives her the sight of the birds.
That's magical visual surveillance.
And the strength of the earth, which is a kind of minor protection.
Plus the critical ability to hear and understand the creatures of the wilds, giving her invaluable, instantaneous intelligence.
And that intelligence, that speed, it's all underpinned by the Blue Tree Network.
It's the circulatory system and rapid transit for the entire alliance.
At the very heart of it is the Heartwood of Eldara. It's the singular mystical blue tree.
It shimmers with this deep, vibrant blue light, and its leaves glow faintly even in total darkness.
Its roots reach deep into the earth's core, acting as the primary source of all that ancient nature magic.
The sources make it clear this power isn't just given away. The Heartwood is discerning.
It only grants its gifts to those who are pure of heart and in complete harmony with nature. It's an ideological commitment.
But the Heartwood is just the anchor.
Exactly. It connects across the entire land through countless smaller blue way trees.
And these aren't just normal trees.
No, they're magical relays. They're linked by magical ley lines, vast currents of pure energy that run deep beneath the earth.
And this whole infrastructure has 3 absolutely critical functions,
which give the forces of light their strategic edge. The first is communication.
It's instantaneous, reliable, and totally invisible to outsiders.
Whispers on the wind, songs of birds, secrets felt through the earth.
All carried across vast distances, giving the druids this unparalleled instant intelligence across the entire realm.
They could detect plots, troop movements, or even just changes in the magical atmosphere.
Faster than any raven or spy network could ever hope to.
Okay, so that's communication. The next part is the speed, right? Travel.
This is the famed, almost mythical technique of tree walking.
And the strategic implication here is immense. Druids can step instantly from one way tree to another.
They basically transcend geography.
So how does that actually work? What are the mechanics?
The sources describe it as a deep meditation, but it's incredibly swift.
The druid channels the ancient magic through the network.
And mentally projects their consciousness along the ley lines.
They're instantly dematerialized and then rematerialized at the chosen way tree.
This gives the Alliance unmatched power for swift troop deployment, surveillance, and rapid response.
Is there a risk to that? Transporting your consciousness through raw magic sounds incredibly risky.
There is, and the sources allude to it.
If the ley lines are corrupted, say by a light-absorbing black tree, the risk of being magically fractured is huge.
But the trade-off is worth it for the speed. No other faction can match it.
And the third function is more subtle. It's sensory input.
Right. The network acts as a huge early warning system.
What does a wound to the urge actually feel like to a druid connected to that?
It's described as a deep, pervasive ache or a disruption in the harmony they feel constantly.
They can instantly sense a burned forest, a mysteriously dry river, or the sudden unnatural silence where wildlife should be thriving.
It keeps them constantly aware, maintaining the balance.
Which is their whole mandate. But this system also has a colossal weakness.
If you destroy a single way tree,
you sever the ley lines connected to it, you weaken that whole quadrant of the network.
And the fall of the Heartwood itself would cause the very balance of nature and the Alliance's entire infrastructure to just crumble.
Which brings us right back to Lira and her amulet. The Amulet of Curius, made from blue tree wood, is her direct lifeline. Even though she's not a full druid, she gets a direct, passive connection to all that sensory intelligence.
So if the forces of light have this intricate organic network that leads naturally to the villain's response.
They couldn't just let the Alliance have that kind of sensory and travel advantage.
Exactly, which is why their own infrastructure is such a terrifying, corrupted mirror image.
The Dark Network is not a natural evolution. It is a calculated, twisted corruption of the natural order.
And the architect of all this chaos is Malgora.
Malgora is the immediate visceral threat. She's the leader of the Hagborn Coven.
Her physical appearance is described as absolutely sickening. Sickly gray-green skin, boils, scars from dark rituals.
Her eyes gleam with this pure, unadulterated malevolence that feels ancient.
She's a master of corrupted magic, and she uses her own dark network, which explicitly mimics the druid's system.
Instead of the blue way trees, they use black trees.
Right, and these black trees are the same size and shape as the way trees, but instead of glowing blue, they pulse with that corrupted red light.
The same unsettling red light Durgen first saw pulsing in the wood.
They serve as portals, as invasion routes.
They're strategically grown by Malgora's magic to connect key areas,
allowing her forces, which are often physically cumbersome, to move across the realm instantly.
And her hubs are connected by a network of shadows and spies, like the crow that Squila later captures and interrogates.
Her whole strategy is just based on overwhelming chaos and destruction for amusement.
The sources say her ultimate plan was to send a full army through multiple dark tree portals at the same time.
Just to completely overwhelm the realm on every possible front with sheer crushing numbers.
And the way she generates these armies is horrifying. The rituals are described in detail.
They use these makeshift altars of twisted roots and bones and fouled water.
That allows her to tear open a rift in the earth and summon creatures from the underworld.
And these aren't just generic monsters. The gore fiends are relentless beasts of bone and sinew.
Hard to kill because they don't have vital organs.
Then you have crawlers, which are ambushers, and shades, which are race-like and can bypass normal defenses.
They're all born from pure malevolent magic. They defy nature.
But what's really interesting strategically is her role in the larger deception. Malgora was actually captured.
A huge coup for the Alliance, right? Led by Eldritch, Alistair, and Alaron at the Broken Oak Fortress.
It was, but the sources reveal it was a deliberate, planned feint.
Wait, she let herself be captured?
She did. Her chaos was a distraction. It tied up the core Alliance forces in the north.
Which was basically a gift to the other major villain, Morthak.
It allowed him to execute his far more damaging plan against the Elven homeland while everyone was busy with her.
So even captured, she's still a threat.
A primary, ongoing threat. She's the one who tried to poison Lira, and she successfully bound Ronin's brother, Loran.
Her personal malice. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, I think magicians use exactly the same thing. They make you look on one hand and they actually are putting something else in their pocket with the other hand.
That is a phenomenal analogy.
What's fascinating here is that you've absolutely nailed the strategy.
Okay, let's unpack this. It is pure misdirection.
Malgora is the magician's wave.
She is the large, loud, attention-grabbing spectacle.
She lets herself be captured, a huge visible event.
A coup that ties up all the Alliance's primary focus in one location.
While the real danger, this critical long-term plot, is executed quietly elsewhere.
That elsewhere being Morthok's devastating attack on the Elven homeland.
It's a textbook use of military deception, using chaos as a screen for calculation.
It's all about controlling where the audience, in this case the Alliance, is looking.
Right. Her personal malice is still potent, of course.
She's the one who tried to poison Lira, after all.
And she successfully bound Ronin's brother Loran, which was deeply traumatic.
But if Malgora is chaos and distraction, then Morac Greythorne is just cold, calculating ambition.
A different and maybe more dangerous type of evil than the Hagborn's misdirection.
He's the infamous necromancer operating from Darkspire Citadel in the west.
And his fortress is the key to understanding him. Morhag is magically bound to the Citadel's Hearthstone.
A massive stone deep inside that crackles with green runes.
As long as that Hearthstone is intact, he has absolute immortality.
That's a critical insight. It cost him his mobility.
He can't leave his base without risking everything.
Precisely. And his motivation is the complete opposite of the Hagborn's chaos.
Morthak believes true power is in absolute control.
He sees the witches as short-sighted, just indulging in temporary chaos.
So Mortak's plan is generational. He intends to outlast everyone.
Light and dark. He will just rule over whatever's left after they've exhausted themselves fighting Malgora's noise.
Immortality gives him the patience for that.
And that patience allowed him to forge an unholy pact with Draxfus, Ronin's captured brother.
He saw Draxus not just as a tool, but as an equal.
He offered him dominion over legions of the living and the dead.
And this alliance, built on strategy instead of bloodlust, led to their coordinated initial attack.
While the Alliance was celebrating the capture of the loud, visible threat Malgora in the north,
The quiet, ambitious Mortak was devastating the elven forces far to the south.
it's textbook military deception, that magician's trick you identified.
The elven homeland of Eloria was left unguarded because all eyes were on the Broken Oak siege.
The destruction was immense. Ancient forests burned, defenses collapsed.
It proves that the intelligence war is far more dangerous than the physical battlefield itself.
You fight the battle Malgora gives you, but Morac wins the war.
And as if that wasn't enough, the sources reveal a third and in many ways more toxic threat.
The Vain Syndicate, a sophisticated criminal organization operating completely undetected inside the kingdom's highest circle.
This is what's so dangerous about them. They're internal.
They're like parasites on the heart of the kingdom.
The mastermind is Calder Veain. Outwardly, he's this respectable, charismatic advisor to the king.
But in secret, he's the head of the Thieves Guild.
Calder's genius is his manipulation of information,
He funnels privileged court information to his criminal empire.
so they can succeed in raids and heists without ever being caught.
He's running this elaborate internal sabotage operation.
He's the suit inside the castle. His younger brother, Dorian Vale, is the enforcer.
Right. Dorian is the guild's ruthless blade, master assassin skilled in stealth and combat.
They're a perfect pair. Calder provides the intel and the cover. Dorian handles the brutal execution.
And then there's the secret weapon, and this is where the dark alliances get really murky. Venom.
Real name, Colia Vein. Calder's secret half-sister, born out of wedlock.
She thrives in the shadows.
Venom is literally Latin for poison.
And it's a terrifying man accurate alias. She is a master of poisons, deception, and silent kills.
And the most surprising part, she's a dark arts student of Malgora herself.
That connection is terrifying. It links this internal criminal organization directly to the Hagborn's ancient dark magic.
Venom operates under the radar, ensuring the guild's enemies just quietly disappear.
They are the definition of an undetected systemic risk.
You don't know they're a threat until it's far, far too late.
And the only reason the realm hasn't just fractured entirely under all this pressure is the deliberate unity of these disparate races.
This Grand Alliance, a necessary but very complicated partnership.
Leading the charge are the humans, under King Alistair, and the very capable commander Durgen Stonefist.
Garen is famed for his ability to inspire soldiers, even when the odds seem impossible.
His resilience is credited with saving the capital early on.
Then you have the dwarves, led by Thorne Ironhammer.
Thrain is all pragmatism and this dry, unique sense of humor.
He was one of the first to act, sending a messenger through the perilous Thunder Gap the moment that light-absorbing twisted oak was found.
Then the elves, led by King Alarin Silverleaf and the mage Illyrian Silverleaf. They're masters of magic and strategy.
They provided crucial fortifications, like reinforcing the castle's eastern wall with enchantments.
And their archers are essential.
But their homeland, Eloria, suffered immense destruction from Morthek's attack.
And finally, you have the Paladins, led by Sir Aldrich Dawnshield.
He's the definition of unwavering faith and military discipline.
And their divine magic is essential, right?
Because it's the only direct counter to the Hagborn's fall sorcery.
Exactly. A dwarven axe can kill a gore fiend, but only the sacred flame can truly burn away the darkness and corruption.
That combined force was what it took to capture Malgora at the Broken Oak.
And beyond the official races, Ronin has leveraged the ancient power of nature itself, bringing in these powerful allies.
The Fire Drakes are probably the most surprising of them. They were once enemies of the Druids.
They originated as primal forces of destruction, fierce beings of flame who actively fought the Druids in the ancient age.
The conflict was devastating. It only ended when the Druid Erdon, the Rootbinder, forged this difficult ancient pact with their leader.
The terms were monumental. The Drakes agreed to serve as guardians of the balance.
And Ronin builds on that pact. He connects them to the Heartfire, the source of all fire in the world.
Through the Blue Tree Network, that infrastructure is everywhere.
And this wasn't just some simple magical link. It made them guardians of flame and, crucially, immortal in their element.
As long as they maintain their loyalty, their power will never be extinguished.
If they're slain, their essence just returns to the Heartfire to be reborn.
That's a game changer for the Alliance's air support. Persistent, high-power assets.
Then there's Squila the Shapeshifter, an even more intimate and tactical ally.
She's an ancient druidess, practically ageless, who acts as a personal guardian and guide to both Ronin and Lira.
She has complete control over her form, an elven woman for diplomacy, a silver falcon for reconnaissance.
Or a giant mystical spider for combat. Her silver falcon form is used for silent surveillance.
Lira often saw this silver hawk above her, a protective presence, which was later revealed to be Squila.
Fulfilling an ancient prophecy that Ronin and Lira's destinies were profoundly intertwined.
And her giant spider form is an incredible tactical asset, Her silk isn't natural, it's magically spun, shimmering.
with a tensile strength far beyond steel.
It was strong enough to ensnare the assassin Malus, and later the monstrous Draxfus himself.
And supporting them on the ground are the battle bears and warwolves, magically enhanced, highly disciplined creatures used for combat.
A powerful local rapid response force. The narrative reaches its most emotional and complex point with the corruption and redemption of Ronin's brother, Loran. He was twisted into that horrifying multi-limbed creature, Draxfus, held captive by Malgora's binding spell.
The confrontation was unavoidable. Ronin and Skryla find Draxfus guarding a freshly manifested black tree portal near the farm.
Their strategy was about neutralization, not killing. Ronin summoned a blinding whirlwind to disrupt his balance.
The moment Draxfus was immobilized, Skryla shifted instantly into her spider form and spun a thick, shimmering silk cocoon around him.
It was about total restraint. And the cure itself, it required immense power and deep belief.
They channeled their combined energy, pushing the latent healing light from the druid's pool through the cocoon.
The resistance was huge. Malgora's spell was designed to turn love into pain, but Ronin pushed through.
They flooded the cocoon with light, breaking the dark magic from the inside out.
The moment of release wasn't some epic speech. It was Loran's voice, muffled but unmistakable.
Who do I have to kill to get out of this cocoon?
He was fully restored, sense of humor and all.
That moment, hearing his voice, that's the whole emotional core of the source material, isn't it?
It proves hope is a physical, magical force in this world.
And the consequences were felt immediately. Loran's release instantly healed Darien Stormrider's old leg wound.
An injury from a foul blade laced with dark magic that no healer could fix.
But the bond...
Oh, go for it.
Okay, so this is where Lira comes in again. This magical wind, or dark magic wind, Lira was able to keep it under control, so she must have some special healing powers.
That is a phenomenal connection, bringing it right back to Elara and her role in this whole process.
Okay, let's unpack this. You are spot on.
Elara, even before Ronin was a hero, was fighting that same type of dark magic.
Darien Stormrider's wound, the one that just healed, was pierced by a foul blade laced with dark magic.
Elara, the healer, fought that curse for weeks and months.
She used her skill to stave off the curse that had sunk into his flesh.
What's important is that she could only control it. She couldn't completely heal it.
That dark magic lingered in his leg, beyond even her potent abilities as a healer from the Verdant Circle.
So she was a powerful healer, but this particular wound needed a force greater than individual skill.
It needed the raw, concentrated power of Ronin's redemption, and the healing light he received from the Druid's pool.
This elevates the whole reunion. It shows that even ancient, Eve-seated dark magic can be broken by pure light and love.
So as we were saying, the bond between... Oh, go for it!
Okay, but we are missing a vital point here. This wound was actually caused by Draxus. So in effect, father was fighting his son in a different disguise.
Oh, that is a profound point.
What's fascinating here is the circular nature of that confrontation.
Okay, let's unpack this. You're talking about the assault on Briarholt.
Right. Roan was summoning a tempest, the wind and lightning.
And his primary target was the gore fiend that sent Thunderpaw flying.
But the sources also confirm that Draxfus was there, guarding the Black Tree.
So Ronin's powerful Whirlwind, the one he summoned to bind the monster.
Susanna was aged Draxfus, who was still Loran at that time.
In effect, his power was directly fighting the corrupted form of his brother.
And this raises an important question. Was Ronin subconsciously holding back that raw power?
He knew he was trying to restrain, not destroy, that monstrous form.
This connects directly to the idea of love as a magical force we just discussed.
His familial bond made his attack tactical, about control and restraint.
Not about overwhelming destruction, which is what he did to the other creatures.
That tactical difference is what allowed Skryla to swoop in and ensnare Draxfus.
So even in battle, the intention of the druid shapes the power's effect.
It perfectly sets the stage for the rest of the story.
The bond between father and son, the raw power of that love and rescue, was strong enough to override even an ancient dark curse.
And this restoration, this feeling of hope, sets the stage for the rest of the story.
As the sources wrap up, we see the heroes falling back, regrouping.
They're preparing for the inevitable large-scale assault Malgora is planning.
And this is where we need to stress Johnny's bard's role.
He's the master of non-magical espionage, the linchpin of the human counterintelligence effort.
He's a trusted, discreet spy for King Alistair, using his musical tours to gather intel.
His biggest achievement was exposing Calder Veain's criminal empire.
which was running internal sabotage right there inside the capital.
He infiltrated a tavern, loosening their tongues with a potent but undetectable potion.
A masterclass in non-magical espionage, all about controlling the flow of information.
But his success made him a huge target for the Vain Syndicate.
He survived a direct assassination attempt by their assassin Malus.
He only lived because Skryla intervened in her spectacular spider form.
She dropped from the tavern rafters and cocooned the assassin in that shimmering silk.
And they leveraged that capture immediately, turning it into a trap.
Ronin and Jonty devised a cunning counter-trap using the captive Malus.
They forced her to send a false message to the Hagborn, saying the castle was undefended.
Now, that deception didn't end the conflict, but it bought the Alliance valuable time.
It lured the witches into a heavily fortified castle.
Right. And following that, the heroes used the Blue Tree Network for swift transport.
They transported to Darien and Alara's secluded farm, a quick, tactical retreat.
But the Dark Network proved to be just as fast.
Malgora's crow spies saw them leave the Druid Grove,
They relayed their location instantly to the Hagborn.
which allowed Malgora to send Draxus to attack them via a newly manifested Black Tree portal near the farm.
Luckily, Skryla then interrogated that captured crow spy.
And she confirmed Malgora's horrifying grand plan.
A full, coordinated army assault through multiple Dark Network hubs at once.
This confirmed the absolute need for immediate strategic dispersal.
They couldn't just huddle together. The Alliance split up to gather resources and fight the Dark hubs.
And this is the final preparation before the next chapter begins.
First, Ronin and Skryla flew on Windstrider to take the fight to the root.
Second, Jonty and Malus took horses to warn neighboring farms.
That was a crucial civilian defense mission, alerting everyone.
Third, Dorian and the Wild Allies. Dorian, now fully loyal, led the creatures to secure territory.
And fourth, Eldara and Loran. They went to the high hill hives to gather essential medicinal honey.
This honey, touched by the blue tree's magic, has potent healing properties.
Loran's new focus on healing is a poignant full circle, considering what he just overcame.
And this leads us directly to the final scene, the ultimate hook for the listener.
The youngest member of the group, Elias, was left at the farmhouse to maintain local defenses.
As everyone departs, Elias notices something strange with Lira, the old farm cat.
And Lira, using Wildspeak, guides into a patch of thin, grayish soil near the lower field.
And Mira's voice, in his mind, explains the situation with this druidic clarity.
She says the soil hums wrong, not vibrating like the black tree, but subtly wrong.
And that the blue tree's magical song bends around a note it dislikes.
It implies a localized magical anomaly that's actively disrupting the established infrastructure.
A threat so quiet and localized that it's not detected by the large-scale sensory systems.
Her instruction to Elias is clear and deeply ominous. He must help untie it before it grows teeth.
The implication is massive. Even as the Alliance moves out, a new, ancient danger is manifesting silently.
Right beneath the sanctuary of the farm.
It perfectly prepares you for the next major, unexpected plot development.
So we've meticulously mapped the field for you, covering the networks and the alliances.
Dwarves, elves, paladins, and the Immortal fire drakes, all standing against Malgora and Morthok.
And the internal threat of the Vain Syndicate, who provide the intelligence and silent kill.
When you synthesize all of this, the conflict is about controlling infrastructure.
The Alliance achieved this massive emotional and strategic victory with Loran's redemption.
But despite that, the sources end with that subtle, deeply ominous hint of a new, unknown threat in that lower field.
Which raises an important question for you to take into the next chapter.
In a world defined by vast, visible, magical networks, what happens when the most vital danger is hidden right beneath your feet?
Only detectable by the subtle intuition of a single ancient creature.
You have the complete guide now.
Prepare for the next chapter. We'll see you then.